Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. We will be reviewing Mustiami over here, of course, as usual. We will be reviewing the game between RCB and Delhi Capitals. A little bit of a anti-climax kind of a finish where both of them just went for the win. Not necessarily a practice match, but they just wanted to get over the line, and both of them kind of wanted to qualify, making things for KKR a little bit more sweaty in their hands, a little bit more worried, a little bit more anxious, and waiting for tomorrow's result. And that's of course going to finalize the final spot. The other three spots have been decided now with Mumbai, Delhi in the top two, and then RCB facing the eliminator of either Sunrisers or Kolkata. But just on the basis of game today, just felt like a lackluster game in terms of how the drama has been over the past few days. Just felt like both of them wanted to win. Both it's kind of like be friends with each other, like get it over with. It could have very easily been a little bit more drama in this game, but I guess we've set very high standards of that, and then we saw a decent game, but it just felt like it was a little bit of an anticlimax.
Yeah, I thought for sure. I think both teams were very cagey. They just wanted to get through to the playoffs, and you could see that in the batting there's a bit of reservation, like they're conservative in their approach. So I think both teams we didn't see like AB and Kohli go for it, and even I think Delhi batted really well, but it was a measured approach. They could have finished it earlier if they wanted to, but I think they just wanted to ensure that playoff spot. So I think both teams were definitely very conservative in their approach.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of nerves as well, but I think at the end of the day, at the end of the day, I think the big boys in the Delhi team stepped up today, Dhawan and Rahane, because it was important for some from the experienced lads to make sure that they get past the line, because it could have been a problem because their batting has in the past few games kind of collapsed. But hats off to both of them. They did a pretty good job of cleaning it out, and the bowlers as well. After being tonked around a little bit over the past few games, they were able to, as a unit, bowl well as well. And Daniel Sam coming in and also providing that little bit of an extra impetus was what I guess was needed, and it worked out well for them.
Yeah, I think it was interesting. Even Rabada was asked in the halfway stage, like, what did you do different today compared to the last two games because they got smacked? He's like, he couldn't really explain it. So maybe it just wasn't their day. They weren't finding the line and length, but today you could see that these guys are high quality fast bowlers. Even Nokia, he troubled the likes of AB de Villiers with some good variations, slower balls. So this is a very good Delhi team. It's hard to explain like why these two teams both struggled after such a good start in the tournament. But you can see on their day when they do play well, it's a tough team to beat. And today they performed to expectations. There's still some weaknesses there. I feel also the conservative approach, okay, it worked now for the playoffs. But if you play a team like Mumbai in the playoffs, you'll need to be much more aggressive. I think both teams, like RCB as well, because yes, they might think they don't have that firepower after AB, but then they can't think like that. They need to go from the ball one. And even Delhi, I think when Rishabh Pant Iyer came in as well, they're trying to knock me around. I think they should just be more aggressive in the playoffs, because if you give Mumbai a team like Mumbai, that kind of thing, like a small kind of thing, they'll come in, they'll grab it with both hands. They won't let you out of the so that's what I feel.
Yep, absolutely. I think that's a very valid point. The only thing that I'm thinking now is that for Mumbai and Delhi, sorry, not Mumbai and Delhi, for RCB and Delhi, a little bit of the way they kind of started the tournament off, and then they've kind of completely tapered off since then. For Delhi, 4 out of 5 losses, games that they've lost. Now RCB 4 out of 4 that they've lost as well. So for Delhi who will be facing Mumbai, who's been so good this season, and for RCB who will face the winner of game tomorrow, either Sunrisers or KKR, will also be having some momentum coming their way, especially if it's Sunrisers, because they've won the past 3 games, and they'll be coming in with a little bit more momentum, a little bit more to play for. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the likes of Delhi and Bangalore kind of cope with something like that for them, and because of the losses that they've had recently.
Yeah, definitely. I think for Bangalore, it'll be a bit more of a tricky situation, because yes, they're going to play a 4th place team, but like you said, a team who's going to qualify in the end. But at the same time, it's dangerous, because these kind of teams are like Hyderabad and Kolkata both have been very unpredictable, right? Yeah. So, and they've been aggressive as well in their approach. So if it clicks on their day, they can, cause a lot of problems. So I think for Bangalore, it could be an issue. Even so I think, like you said about these two teams in terms of form. And sorry, what was your other question?
No, I was just wondering how that will kind of impact them, sort of,
Yeah, no, definitely there will be an issue, but at the same time, there's a lot of quality in this team as well. So they just need to back their strengths and make it simple and be more aggressive, I think, in their style. for
Yeah,
sure.
and I think that because I think today both of them won't qualify, that's why we probably saw a little bit of a cool off performance per se. But I think both of them will be raring to go now that they are in the playoffs and it's been
Yeah, maybe it's
confirmed.
that slight thing. I think Delhi, especially, maybe they were probably nervous because they started off so well in the tournament and suddenly it tapered off like 4 losses on the trot.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think they were probably really like nervous. But now I think it's Ponting's job as a coach just to tell them, listen, you guys have the ability. You've qualified. You're number two. Now you need to go all out to attack because we still haven't seen the likes of Punt and Iyer click consistently. If these guys have a really good day in one of the playoff matches, they can finish the game like this.
yeah.
We've seen Dhawan already. He's been performing. Rahane, I think it's a big, it's like a big positive the way he's played because, like you said from before the tournament, he can anchor the innings and he showed that today. So when it's a 150, 160 score, they have the batsman and they also have the batsman for 200 plus scores. So
Yeah.
it's just about clicking and having a positive mindset.
Yeah. And I think for Bangalore, if we come to Bangalore at this point, they've also had 4-4 losses now. The past 4 games they've
Oh
lost.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be very interesting how they kind of play the playoffs. I mean, yes, they have, like you said, I mean, quality players, no doubt about that. But just like again, we're starting to see that over reliance, like you said, on ABD and on in Virat, and the bowling also, like Chahal, if he gets a little bit hit, or Morris if he's having an off day, is looking pretty bad. So your thoughts on Bangalore suddenly after a very good start to their tournament as well?
Yeah, when Morris starts to get hit, that's when the problem.
Worrying.
Because it gets worrying because then the death bowling does leak runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Chahal, I think today those two batsmen played him really well, Dhawan and Rahane, and I expected that to happen because they're very good players of spin. So that's the thing. When you come up with opposition like that, they'll need to do something a bit more different, I feel. And yes, if Morris doesn't click in the playoffs, that will be an issue for sure. So they'll be hoping that he's raring to go and like he's in form because like you saw it today, like the bowling looks a bit flat when these two don't
Yeah,
perform.
absolutely. Yeah, 100%. And that's going to be concern. I mean, with someone like if they play someone like Sunrisers who's coming in with momentum, that's going to be a little bit of an issue for them. But they'll have to wait and
Yeah,
see
even
who.
even against KKR, I feel because
Yeah,
KKR have batsmen who can put them under pressure. Morgan,
absolutely.
Russell hit a few sixes the
Yeah,
other day. So like, if you have those kind of batsmen who are aggressive, they could put RCB under pressure. So they'll
and
need to get their bowling game up for sure,
yeah,
100%.
I think so. I think so. Just the fact that they've also tried to chop and change around a little bit. Saini's playing a couple games, not playing a
Yeah,
few.
I don't
Uh,
understand that.
that's making no sense at all. I mean, they tried Shahbaz Ahmed today. Siraj has been relatively a mainstay, but he's bowling well in the beginning of the innings, and towards the end he's leaking some runs. So that's also an issue. So they have that dead bowling issue that was persistent about this RCB team for a few years. It's starting to show. Those cracks are starting to show again, and they want to cement off those cracks really quickly. Otherwise, it could come back to bite them, sort of. So
Yeah.
they'll have to keep an eye out on that for sure.
Yeah, and one thing they should not, I know they like to do this. It's a good thing to do sometimes, but in the playoffs, they shouldn't rely only on matchups. I think they need to play the
Oh,
first 11,
absolutely.
and
Yeah.
then you can talk about matchups and depending on okay, this guy is bowling, Bumrah's bowling when AB is batting. What is the plan? You can do that, but you go into the game with your best starting 11. Saini needs to play, AB needs to bat at 4. All these things need to be regular, and then you can talk about matchups later. But you need to play your strongest 11.
Yeah, I think
Do you
so too.
think
I mean,
Felipe is done his bit to stay as opener, or do you think they'll bring back Finch because he's a big match? Like, I mean, he has experience; he's Australian captain, but he hasn't performed either.
you bring back Finch, or I have been crying about this. You have been crying about this.
Moin Ali.
Try Moin Ali, man. I mean, he is your T20 player. He gives you that extra little bit with the ball. And just try it out. It's not like anything else is working. I think that they're worried about two left-handers, but it's okay. At this point, it's like scoring the runs, right?
So the
So,
difference is that Felipe is scoring 20, 30 runs, but he's struggling, whereas Finch
yeah.
is like not wasting too many balls. He gets out like, or
Yeah.
he makes a 50. Like, so yeah, I
So yeah,
think.
it depends. Maybe they should try him out. I mean, like Finchy is an experienced Australian captain also, so might work out. But just try Moin Ali. I mean, I think that is like the missing piece in their struggles right now. Trying
Yeah.
Moin Ali because he can give you 4 overs with the ball very easily, and you can play Saini because you don't want if you want like spinners an issue only Chahal's your spinner, but you have Washington Sundar, you can bring in Saini, you have that extra bowling attack, and Moin Ali is an absolutely incredible batsman as well. Like if he
Mhm.
gets going, he will give you the runs easily. He'll give you
Mhm.
as good as anybody will give you the runs.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they will understand that and just bring that to the party, but we'll have to wait and see, unfortunately.
And you're happy with Sam's instead of Hetmeyer?
Yeah, I think that was a decent move, especially
that actually looks a very smart move going into the playoffs, because they can defend like 140, 150 as well if they.
And Ajinkya gives you that little bit of stability, right? What was like kind of lacking with the, because Stoinis and Hetmeyer are similar kind of players, so you don't need both in your team. One's good enough. So like that kind of works. And now Rahane gives you that little bit of stability that gives the likes of Shreyas Iyer can really play his natural game. He doesn't have to like anchor the innings, and he can just go out all guns blazing.
Yeah.
And Dhawan and Shaw, if they give you that opening, that's perfect, right?
Yeah, and they should be open to the floating kind of option, I think, because if if they're like 80 for no loss in 8 overs, someone gets out, I think they should send like a Stoinis or a punt instead of a Rahane. So they should be flexible in that approach, I feel, because they have the resources, right? Depending on the match situation, for sure.
Exactly, and I mean we'll see. We'll wait and see how it goes, because Delhi will be the happier of the two teams
100%,
today,
man, because they get two
bites
bites
of the cherry.
We both got it.
but yeah, I think your player of the match today, I think that kind of wraps it up after the player of the match.
Player of the match, there's like 4 or 5 guys. Rahane, Dhawan, Rabada, but I give it to Nokia. I think he bowled brilliantly because they both got smashed in the last couple of games to come back strong against someone like AB de Villiers. I think that speaks a lot. Yes, AB got run out, but if you saw that over, he bowled really well to him. And in general, Nokia was, I think, magnificent. And the variations and the speed he bowls at, like when he bowls like really fast, it's very difficult to hit that kind of bowling.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Rahane just because I think that, yes, Notia was very, very good. So was Dhawan, but I think that the importance of Rahane's innings over there, if he would have crumbled quickly, the guy, Iyer and Punt would have had a lot of pressure coming in, and they have struggled in the past few games. They've been a little bit shaky with trying to get over the line. So it's very important that Rahane really puts that impetus and just makes sure that the team's good enough. He should have finished the game off, and he would have been a little bit disappointed going off a little bit earlier, but I think he put the game to bed almost to an extent, by that time. And that very important throw of AB de Villiers so that he gives him 3 less balls to play. That could have been another 15, 20 runs, and that could have been a big issue as well.
For sure. Yeah.
So,
when AB was batting, I felt the score would go to like 180, but it just didn't click.
He didn't click today, but champion batsman, he'll probably be raring to go in the next eliminator. If it's against the Sunrisers, hopefully he doesn't, but we'll see. But I think that wraps up the game today. Moving on to possibly the biggest game of the season. No, I was kidding. But it's a very important game for 2 teams, which are not the teams that are playing each other. So 2 teams, that is, one is Sunrisers and the other is Kolkata, who will be sitting at home and waiting to see the outcome of the game, because that will depend on if they qualify or no. So interesting scenario. Hyderabad doesn't have to worry about like finishing it in so many overs or finishing it with so many balls left or anything. Just have to go ahead and win the game. That's it. And Kolkata will hope that they don't. It's as simple as that, right?
Yeah, so there's no net run rate out of the door. You can throw your calculator away.
Absolutely. I mean, that's been a good friend of mine, so I'll wait for it for next season. But yeah.
But it's straightforward right now.
It's very clear and it's very clear cut what's going to happen. But yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts? I'm starting to get a little worried now.
I mean, look, if I look at it from a Sunrisers fan, just me personally, if I look at it like that, I feel that it hasn't been the best season. The injuries, there's been a lot of issues and stuff, but to be battling it for the 4th place and have it in your hands, I think, you have to give them credit. I think David Warner and everybody else, you have to give them credit the way they fought. They've had injuries where it's shaken the balance of the team. Yeah. And 2 main Indian players, when 2 Indian main like starting players get injured, you already have a lack, you can only play 4 foreigners. If that wasn't the rule, you could play Nabi, you can play Allen, no issues. But, when you have your main Indian players getting injured, it's a big problem. And I think they dealt with it really well. To have a chance going into the last game, I think credit to them. Yes, of course, I think going into this game, if I'm David Warner, I just want to attack. If you lose, you lose. You can't do anything about it, but attack them. It's going to be a very tough game against the best team in the tournament. They might rest a few players, but they still have a big quality bench strength, right? So I think they'll need to attack. And don't worry, man. Either way, I think it's been a good season, a decent season. I wouldn't say amazing, but considering the circumstances, it's been a good season for Sunrisers.
Yeah, but I think if we come so close and if we kind of have our foot in the door and if we get kicked out by Mumbai Indians, who's probably the biggest one of the biggest boys out there, it would be really heartbreaking. But
Yeah, of
you're
course.
absolutely right. We were dealt with a unfortunate pair of cards, and we've done as well as we could with the circumstances, like you said. So, I mean, yeah, I just
Yeah, and
hope that
then
it
just
works
keep
out.
keep the same strategy going. Attack, like no
Attack,
matter
attack,
what
attack.
happens, like yeah, just keep attacking. No matter what happens, like it was a big risk even against RCB. You saw Pandey hit it on top. He got out. Sahakar, we're like, what are you doing, man? But it's working. Like
Yeah.
the whole KV started hitting sixes. You know
Yep.
what I mean? It was very risky. We just need to single double and win the game. That's how we feel while watching the game. But if you look at it from hindsight, like the strategy is working. You already have weaknesses, from before, and then the injuries add to it. So like you have a mindset, stick to it, no problem. It's one more game, and if it pulls off, it'll be crazy, man. We'll have a party tomorrow.
Absolutely, and then it'll be RCB against Hyderabad. Moving on, if that happens, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm just saying. If not, it's going to be KKR versus RCB.
yeah,
So either way, it's going to be fun moving into the playoffs.
yeah,
But as fans, you'd always, of course, want your team to make it through and be fun to see.
yeah,
And we will,
definitely.
and the Hyderabad will finish third over Bangalore's fourth.
Yeah,
So then, who would have thought that in the middle of the tournament, right?
yeah.
That it would have happened.
Yeah, but
So,
make sure you take deep breaths. I have a feeling tomorrow's game is going to go down to the wire. Either way,
man, it's going to be
because
hard for
it's been a
for
while since we've seen a super overish, last ballish kind of finish. So, yeah.
it's gonna be hard for the heart, man. I don't know how many of
I
more
just
of
have
these
a
close
feeling.
games.
Yeah, I just have a
We'll
feeling.
find out, I guess, eventually, but surely we'll find out.
Yeah, the very interesting thing is the game is in Sharjah, the
Yeah,
ground where 250 was like a bar score.
yeah,
Now the pitch has slowed down so much, but there's dew as well, so it's
yeah,
very confusing. I don't know. I feel that both teams will look to bowl first, I think, because of the dew. But at the
yeah,
same time, if there is not much dew, it might not be easy to bat second either.
yeah,
So uh,
absolutely.
I think the pitch will be very interesting tomorrow.
And yeah, those are small things that we not really small things. Those become kind of big things as well. So the
Yeah,
toss becomes
definitely.
really important tomorrow. Yeah. So whoever wins the toss will probably likely bowl first, because you saw how significantly better it was when RCB batted versus when Sunrisers batted a couple of days back, when the game went on. So I mean, there's not much to say. I mean, just win the game and Sunrisers go through, lose the game and KKR goes through. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Mumbai rests some players. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, just looking forward to the game tomorrow. Your players to watch out for.
Yeah, so Mumbai, I don't know like who they
Who
might,
plays? Yeah.
who might rest, who might not rest, but I think Ishan Kishan. I think he's been
Hmm.
in solid form. He's giving them really good starts on a small Sharjah ground. If he can, I think because the pitch might get slower, so if he can attack the new ball, I think it'll be key for Mumbai. So for sure, I look at Ishan Kishan, and for Sunrisers, Rashid Khan for me. I think uh, also Sandeep Sharma and Natarajan and the
The
bowlers
bowling
in
unit.
general
Yeah.
will play a key part. But I think that contest, if they get a couple of early wickets, that contest with middle order versus Rashid Khan, that will be key. I think the earlier he can bowl at Pollard, I think the better, and we'll see how that goes, that kind of contest. If Pandya plays as well, then Pandya and Pollard versus Rashid, I think that's the contest to watch out for.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's already whenever I think about that, it's like starting to get some nerves in the middle. But I can't wait for the game tomorrow. That's just going to be an exciting game, I think. Looking forward to it. Who are you tipping to win?
Sunrisers, man. Now we got this far. I'll have to back them. Like I mean, there's no. I don't have any other option right now. I think we have to back the team. If they lose, of course, it'll be disappointing. But we have to back them one last time. And I'm actually happy that it's in their hands. So let's see how it goes. Go all out, attack, and have fun. Hopefully, we win. We'll celebrate. If not,
Yeah.
then look forward to the other games.
Yeah, Mumbai has a good attack. They've batted well. They've bowled well this season. They've been the best team in the league. So I think Hyderabad's going to win tomorrow. See what I've done?
That sounded
But
familiar, but yes, Mumbai. I think credit to them. I think they've been highly consistent. There's a couple of games where they could have taken it easy. They were already qualified. The
yeah,
last game also they could have taken the foot off the gas a bit. Change things around, try something different. even if they've done that, they've executed it well, right? Like, that shows that they have bench strength as well. Hardik Pandya didn't play, they still won. They might rest Bumrah tomorrow, they still have a good chance of winning. So, that I think the squad, the starting 11, the squad, everything. And, Rohit Sharma hasn't played till now. Like, he's only played the first half, I think. So, and Pollard's done a really good job captaincy-wise. So, the whole setup, I think, looks like a professional setup right now. But yeah, man, it does. We'll go with an ambulance and get a win, no problem. If more players get injured, no problem. We'll keep an ambulance outside Sharjah Stadium and Sunrise. We keep attacking. We'll keep attacking from ball one, man.
Attack. Let's see how that goes. But I think that wraps it up for today.
Any changes you would like to see in the Sunrisers lineup?
I don't think they have. I don't think they have the players to make any changes.
So unless anything happens in the warm-up, I think they'll
hopefully, God, man, I really hope they don't have another injury
for you. Williamson over Nabi and Bairstow for now.
100%. I think that middle order, you need to shore up that.
I like how you said that. I don't think they have any other.
I mean, they have some. I'm not taking anything away from their bench strength, but it's just the way that for the balance of the team and everything is just very, very important that. Finally, there seem to be some balance. Yes, we will still miss Vijay Shankar and Bhuvi, but those are two big players. But the balance of the team as of right now, with Holder kind of coming in the finisher role, I think that's important. And hopefully that goes through. We'll see how it goes.
Watch out for Holder as well. I forgot.
Absolutely. Holder's my player to watch out for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Holder for a century and 5 wickets.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. But
I think that wraps it up. Thank you. You too. And of course, we'll be watching it intensely together and catch you right after that. Hopefully smiling again.
Yeah, hopefully, man, for sure. Enjoy the game and take care.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.